Hey guys, welcome back to Git Good, a series where I analyze my gameplay to see what I did right, what I did wrong, and how I could have played better. Today, we'll be looking at a few clips where I go through my thought process while executing a flanking maneuver during a fight and breaking down the mistakes I made. Let's dive right into it. In our first clip, the Bloodhound and I are chasing down a two-man squad when we get blocked off at a door. Our Watson just got respawned, so she's late to the chase, but we think we can handle ourselves in this 2v2. However, I make a bunch of mistakes in a short amount of time while trying to execute a flank. We'll play it all the way through first, then we'll analyze it. When there's a stalemate at a door, I usually try to break the stalemate by flanking around. Mistake number 1. I am indecisive. I spend the next 4 seconds not doing anything while trying to decide if I should flank or not. This makes me extremely late in my rotation. Timing is everything in a flank and every second matters. Mistake number 2. I go the wrong way while trying to flank. Instead of taking the shortest route possible by just walking through the door on the left, I spend 10 seconds backtracking and going the long way around. If I go left, not only do I cover this angle so our Bloodhound doesn't get flanked himself, it makes it so that I can provide backup very quickly if the door he's body blocking gets broken down. Mistake number 3. I hear the door being kicked down, but I continue my long ass flank instead of turning around to help. I spent so much time being indecisive earlier that I felt like I had to commit to whatever action I was taking now. However, you shouldn't be afraid to change your plans when presented with new information. Mistake number 4. I don't use Pathfinder's mobility to rotate faster. I could have grappled the building and swung myself around. Mistake number 5. I rush in headfirst directly into the line of fire against a fully wound up Havoc at close range. It wouldn't take much for someone with better aim to target switch to my face and laser me down at maximum DPS. I should have waited for him to stop shooting before turning the corner so that he would have to do the windup again, giving me time to safely do damage. Luckily, our Bloodhound was an absolute Chad and handled himself, so all I had to do was clean up. But if he had gotten knocked by the first guy and I had to fight 1v2, it would have been entirely my own fault. In this clip, we've noticed a squad to our left in containment, so my first instinct is to get to the closest piece of cover before returning fire. I want to get closer since I don't have any scopes that allow me to fight well at this range, so I start pushing towards this wall. I do it in the dumbest way possible though. Instead of backing up and going around the rock to break line of sight immediately, I walk straight forward at the enemy team, out in the open, and across the water, which makes you move slower in this game. If their aim was better, I would have easily been knocked. I continue poking at them while waiting for my team to catch up so that we can push forward together. Timing is everything in a flank. If I YOLO myself in too early, they'll just collapse on me, and since I'm not a super cracked gamer, I'll most likely lose that 1v3 fight. While they do get a chance to heal a little bit, it's better to group up and move as a unit rather than trickle in one by one. This is a good example of why high mobility characters like Pathfinder are so strong. In just a few seconds, I'm able to flank the enemy squad and take their high ground while they're distracted. Don't waste the element of surprise by missing all of your shots though, like I'm about to do here. Let's pause for a moment and analyze the situation. There are 3 targets to shoot at. I want to prioritize the ones that are the biggest threats to my teammates, which are the Bloodhound and the Wraith up here. If I can help focus fire one of these guys down, it'll help keep my team alive and create a numbers advantage for us. In a coordinated push like this, it's helpful to call out damage done to each character so everyone can know who's low and focus them down first. At the same time, I want to carefully position myself on the high ground so this lifeline can't take easy shots at me while my attention is focused somewhere else. Here, I spot someone up ahead of us, and I immediately know we're running into a full squad thanks to the squad counter. There are 5 squads left with 15 people, which means each squad must be full. They start engaging us, and based on my current positioning, I decide to flank wide right. If I try to go left to group up with my team, I'd have to cross a lot of open terrain, which just opens me up to unnecessary damage. Right off the bat, the flank is paying off. I spot a revenant who's wildly out of position, so I stop what I'm doing to punish him for his mistake and even up our squad number. At this point, I want to keep pushing forward since we have some momentum from the knock, and I want to capitalize on the confusion while they're trying to figure out what's going on. However, I make the mistake of tunnel visioning onto the Wraith, and I don't fully check all my angles. I'm spending so much time staring at the ground, hungry for the kill, that I miss Wraith's passive warning telling me that I'm being aimed at. If I was more aware of my surroundings, I could have easily taken out this Watson who's trying to fight me with no cover. Instead of trying to return fire, I should have gone to cover right away. The Watson already has her aim lined up and is shooting at me while I'm figuring out where she is, and I have a Havoc that requires wind-up time. This makes me take damage unnecessarily right as our Pathfinder is pushing up. If I had gotten to cover as soon as I noticed the Wraith warning, I would have had a lot more health and could have re-engaged right away. So instead of a 2v2 fight where we have a major health advantage, I end up baiting our Pathfinder into a 1v2 fight where he gets knocked while I heal back up. Our Pathfinder hears him picking up the Revenant, who I know is behind this wall, so I swing around the low ground aggressively to try to catch him off guard before the situation slips further out of control.
Reloading. Whole squad's down. We made the right choices.
In our last clip, we're in the final 3 squads, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to engage into the last fight. One squad owns the high ground where they can shoot into the building through the top of the dome, so we want to avoid staying on the low ground if possible since they have such a major advantage in positioning. We don't know where the other squad is, but since we're not actively fighting, I want to use this downtime to come up with the plan. We're near the part of the circle where the zone closes the slowest. We can use that to our advantage and sneak up on the roof with the zipline once the ring starts moving in. This needs to be timed correctly. Go up too early or too late and we'll be sitting ducks since there's little to no cover to utilize up there. If it turns out that the missing squad is ratting in the building somewhere behind us outside of the circle, all we have to do is fall back to where we are now and gatekeep them as the ring closes.
Might be something good this way. Great, already inside the ring.
The zone starts to close, we don't hear anything behind us, and we start to hear fighting up front. Now is the time to go. By being patient, checking our surroundings, and having a solid plan, we're able to flank the guys who have the best position possible. From here, it's just a matter of clearing out the high ground before dropping down and cleaning up the final squad before they have a chance to recover. Anyway, that about wraps it up for this video. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time.